Ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Ready. Hello everybody.
Hi.
And welcome to Dan and Claudie's much anticipated Twice Upon a Time Doctor Who 2017 Christmas special review.
Yeah, we haven't discussed the episode together yet. We thought we'd save that for on camera. So, yes, we're not going to try and be overly...
We haven't actually discussed it in the slightest, have we?
No, I was thinking we should try and... We're not going to be overly negative, like, just so you know, because a lot of people have sent me messages thinking I'm going to sit here.
What are you presuming? You don't know what my opinion of the episode is. Mine might be really good.
All I'm saying
You
is
don't
that we're trying to be balanced, and also your opinions on the episode are completely appreciated. I'm not a huge fan of Moffat's writing, I'm just going to go in saying that. Dan has his issues with that as well, but your opinions are completely appreciated.
Yeah.
And we don't mean to bash Moffat in this review. If we do, I don't know if we will. I don't know what you're going to think of me. But anyway, so do you want to start on a...
He's got bashed up.
Did you want to start with, like... Did you want to start with things that you liked?
Right, yeah, I'll point out my favourite part of the episode.
Yeah, let's do that, okay.
Which... Nardo.
I thought you'd like Nardo.
Yeah, I tell you what, it made my Christmas seeing Nardo at the end.
But was your favourite bit the line about his glass nipples, or was it the bit about his invisible hair?
The glass nipples was just sort of fan-pleasing, wasn't it? That line was just for the fans.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But it was just actually seeing him that was just... It's not Christmas without Nardo.
That's true.
He's become a staple of my life for the past 3 years.
I think he's become a staple of all our lives. Really.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Well, I just want to start by saying that the highlight of the episode for me was actually David Bradley as one. In terms of just the way he played it. I'm not commenting yet on what he was given to do. But in terms of mannerism, voice, everything,
he was great.
He did an amazing job. We loved him in was it An Adventure in Space and Time?
That's the one.
We loved him in that, and he was fantastic. I genuinely don't think anyone apart from the actual William Hartnell could have done that better. Like, he really did that justice.
Maybe Richard Hurdle?
Yes,
Could have done all right.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think he did a great job, so I've got
Would you rank David Bradley above Richard Hurdle in the...
Hurdle?
Was it...
I've always pronounced it differently to that. I've always pronounced his name differently.
Look it up. Not Hartnell, we're talking about...
Yeah, I know, the other one.
Is it not Hurdle?
Well, no, it's...
If not, who's Richard Hurdle? Right.
Hurdle, I thought. Yes, it's Hurdle. All these years, Hurdle, you've thought.
Hurdle. Well, let's redo that bit.
It's fair enough.
Oh, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I've embarrassed myself. In front of everybody.
Do you want to redo the joke then?
No, I can't remember. I will redo it actually. Wait, so you said, you said no one else could have done that.
Take two.
Oh, maybe.
Take two. Let me just say the original one.
Okay.
But really, I don't think anyone else apart from William Hartnell himself could have done a better job at portraying one.
Maybe not. But what about Richard Hurdle?
That's true.
What's your opinion on that? Where did you rank David Bradley above Richard Hurdle?
Yeah, I did actually.
I'm down.
I actually.
Open the Bifrost.
I really did love. I do love David Bradley's one.
Yes.
So much. He's warm, and I feel attached.
He's warm.
He did a really great job, and I actually think it's a great idea. If I don't have any problem with the Doctors being recast if they're dead. Like, in terms of the 50th, it was an absolute travesty, and really, it made me so angry that there were actual Doctor actors that were alive and willing, and yet they didn't use them.
Every time you mention the 50th, I get anger issues.
Yeah. I can feel it sort of coming off you slightly.
Yeah, I'm considering just walking from this whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't mention it again.
But I think if in the future, they want to include some of the Doctors where the actors are dead now, like, I don't think that's disrespectful to the actors as long as they're portrayed well.
Yeah.
And I think it shows that it can be done.
It can be done.
Dialogue aside. Just talking mannerisms and stuff.
Dialogue? What dialogue?
Whatever was wrong with the dialogue? Did you have anything else positive you wanted to say before we go through some other stuff? Or?
Yes. I liked Murray Gold's music.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Which I'm very worried in a bittersweet kind of way. Because I feel like it probably is time for him to move on. But I think it probably is his last, Murray Gold's
See,
last.
I really desperately don't want him to go because he feels like such an important part of Doctor Who for me.
Yeah,
He
but it was
feels
just
like-
in this last episode he reused so many of his...
There was... Well, I loved Doomsday. There was a Doomsday theme in this.
There was Doomsday,
which
there was
brilliant. The bit
Valdecon.
with we won't talk about this bit yet, but with the 13th Doctor, they actually played some of the music from Silence in the Library for Rush of the Dead, which worked really well.
And Bad Wolf, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. There were loads of old themes. There was all the strange creatures at the start.
Yes.
That's something I wanted to say. The beginning sequence where we saw in black and white, and then we saw.
That was really exciting. That was really
great?
good. Yeah, that was
we
really
had
well done.
Polly and Ben, and then it suddenly went into colour, and just the fact that they were playing, wasn't it?
It was all the strange creatures. Yeah.
I love seeing the new music with the old Doctors. Like that just makes it so exciting. That was great,
Yeah.
and the little morph of his face, with the face morph.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that a lot.
that was all good stuff. Yeah, you were really grinning at that.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I felt really
Yeah.
excited. Like that really made me happy. Okay, so do you think we should? Wait, you've got something to say?
No, I haven't. No, I don't think we should. I think we should just sort of go through the episode and as it happened, and just think about what was good and what wasn't good. And
Okay, when are we going to touch on?
when we get to that,
Well, it's kind of all the way through.
No, it's all right.
So, okay, let's start with you. Let's sum up one in this episode. So, also, we've said David Bradley, wonderful. Mannerisms, great. Wonderful. But, okay, so did you want to start on that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I find personally I can't enjoy a show unless there's some sexist comment in it. And I feel Stephen Moffat really gets that, and he gets me. He gets who I am, and he gets what I'm looking for in a piece of fiction, which is sexism.
I think it really is the heart of Doctor Who.
I think so.
After all these years.
Yeah, I think Stephen Moffat's an absolute maverick to take what was Doctor Who and just add these sexist undertones. He's a true artist, and it's beautiful.
Something else he does as well.
Yeah.
There's something I only noticed this on the rewatch this morning. Now, this might just be me having a dirty mind, but also there seemed to be an unnecessary comment which came out of nowhere about browser history.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know what was on the browser history, but that was something for us all to think on, wasn't it?
The Doctor being just this inspirational hero for children.
Yeah.
I think that's important for children to know.
Yeah.
That
There's something on the browser history.
What's he watching? Yeah, nobody's perfect, kids.
See, I've spoken about this before. I made a video on this already about Stephen Moffat's portrayal of one, and the biggest issue that obviously I had, and I think Dan has as well with this, is that Stephen Moffat decided somehow to make one a man from the 60s rather than an alien which has travelled everywhere. Like, for example, something else I noticed this morning as well. When Bill's talking to the First Doctor and she's hinting at the fact that she's lesbian, it's sort of done in a way as if to go, does that shock you, old man? Why would it shock the Doctor, though? The Doctor would be like, well, on my planet, that's perfectly normal.
I've just come to the sort of realisation and acceptance that I don't think anything Stephen Moffat did is canon.
Anything?
No. Not after Amy's Choice.
Yes.
Anything after, I think we're all still in the Dream Lord's psychic pollen.
Do you think that Jodie Whittaker's first episode will be the Dream Lord?
She'll be against the Dream Lord, yeah. And he'll be like, yeah, it was my villainous ways all along.
But Dan, no Nardole.
No, but that's the plot of Series 11. The Doctor then has to go and find Nardole.
Nardole's living a different life.
Yeah,
And she has to go and find him somewhere and convince him to travel with her.
But there's actually many different Nardoles, and it's like a family of Nardoles.
Yeah.
and they're all over the place, but she has to
But are they
find
all the
the
same age?
Nardole.
Like just
Yes.
they're not smaller Nardos, baby Nardos.
Yeah, there's also giant Nardole.
When I say baby Nardos as well, I don't mean in baby proportion. I mean like
Just little
full
Nardos.
size, just little.
Hello. Yeah.
Loads of them.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a sort of echo of hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Christian was doing with Series 11 is this 10-part epic, and it's a big sort of adventure romp. Bradley Walsh is in it, and it's Bradley Walsh and Jodie Whittaker searching for Nardole. It's called The Search for Nardole. They're renaming the show.
Okay, so some of the comments that the first Doctor made, I wrote some of them down, but
Women are made of glass, are they not?
Well, the first
Are all women not made of glass? Am I right?
Some of the comments were unnecessary, but I could sort of think to myself. I was saying to myself, well, maybe
Put you over my knee.
well, maybe he was just trying to make that First World War man feel comfortable. Like that's how we decided beforehand we were going to see it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what. Sorry to interrupt. One thing I did really like was actually Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, can we? I have quite a lot to say about that.
Okay,
so we'll definitely get to that. But
Yeah.
this was like one of the only times that I actually thought
Hang on, yeah, he's actually
he really
doing
should be
good.
here.
Yeah.
He actually should be here this time. But yeah, I was thinking with some of the First Doctor stuff, like I thought, oh, okay, maybe he's just trying to make this First World War guy feel comfortable. Still questionable that the Doctor would do that, you know, like imagine the Doctor's coming out with something really racist just to make a racist feel good, like I want to make this racist feel comfortable, so, you know. But then it started to get, you know, like you were saying with the aren't women sort of made of glass anyway, which is just really weird.
Yeah.
And also, like, I know that the original First Doctor, there were a couple of moments in his era which were slightly dodgy, but on
Nothing
the whole,
to that scale.
That wasn't...
It wasn't part of his character.
It wasn't a huge part. I mean, like, for example, like, there's been lots of controversy about... In one of the episodes of Matt Smith, we have the Doctor... Remember when the Doctor sexually assaulted Jenny? He just randomly grabbed Jenny and flipped her and kissed her against her will, and then she slapped him. Now imagine if in the future they do like a multi-Doctor story, and literally the 11th Doctor just unleashed every single woman he sees. He just grabs and dips and kisses, and it's quite sinister.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
kind of
he's
the
portrayed
equivalent.
as the villain in that anniversary episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to stop him.
You've got to stop the 11th Doctor in his writing.
But the First Doctor's encouraging him now.
But yeah, it just felt like such a disservice to the First Doctor, because I mean I've been reading lots of stuff on this and like watching lots of First Doctor and the lead up to this, and there have been the occasional comment, but it really, like you said, it wasn't an overreaching arc of
Yeah,
it was. Also, with the whole put you over my knee with Susan, you know, the whole slapped bottom thing, I feel like Stephen Moffat made that into a sexual thing.
With Susan?
Yes, that's who he originally says it to, isn't it? He says Susan's playing up, and he's like, oh, Susan, you'll smash bottom. But it was a grandfather to a you know, like... And then Stephen Moffat managed to make it slightly weirder by, after he'd said it, having Bill being like, I'm a broad-minded sort of girl. And it sort of went...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I found Bill quite annoying in this episode.
She was.
I've never found Bill annoying before.
See, we like Bill.
Yeah.
We really liked Bill. And
I found her very annoying and quite pretentious.
But did you find it was because... Well, to be fair, it kind of wasn't Bill, I guess. They were sort of using Bill to sort of...
No, but it was Bill's personality.
But didn't she very much exist just to ask questions that needed to be asked? So, you know, there wasn't much...
I can't watch the scene where she says something like, what were you running away from? And then she's like, the better question is, what were you running to? Oh, it's like, I'm going to be... I want to vomit. I feel like he's bitter somehow, I don't know.
That's a Snape quote.
That's
you
my
might have
favourite
missed,
Snape
actually.
quote from Order of the Phoenix?
No, it's from...
Goblet of Fire? No, it's from Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, it's from Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah. I want to vomit. A blink and you'll miss it quote, though.
I also found, like, it's a bit of a snub to Bill, though. That if we're talking about the end, I know we've already addressed this with Nardole, obviously. The most important companion was there when 12 regenerated, which was great.
Yeah.
But...
Most important companion ever was there.
But Clara's bit was a bit odd, I thought. I mean, first of all, like, it's felt a bit like, you know when the 11th Doctor regenerated and Clara was right there, and yet he was, like, imagining Amy in his head.
Yeah.
My real companion, Amy.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like the same thing happened to Bill. And also, I don't know if it was CGI'd weirdly or something. And Jenna,
No, it's just because she was on a green screen, wasn't she? Jenna Coleman was on a
she didn't even do
green
the
screen.
Clara voice the same.
Well,
Clara's
she's
voice
been
was...
so busy playing Queen Victoria.
But the thing is, this is what I was thinking. I love Jenna Coleman as an actress. I think she's fantastic. But isn't her actual speaking voice very similar to Clara's own?
I don't really know.
So I don't know why there was... Was that just me, or did she talk differently in the vision? Like, is the 12th Doctor imagining her with, like, sort of more of a received pronunciation sort of accent?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about Mark Gatiss? Because actually, he was on my
very
list of
surprising.
really great things.
And yeah.
There have been several times Mark Gatiss has been put into the show, and I've thought, did we need Mark Gatiss there, really? Most notable was that one time... Well, what was he playing? Beardy... was there an eye patch as well?
The chess Viking. Was he playing chess?
I'm not sure, and he kept... There was that really long sequence of him falling into that skull pit, but it went on for ages, and we went back to it about 3 or 4 times. And he's just falling deeper into the skull pit, and it seems so unnecessary. I'm glad for him. He's a good actor, and he's a writer. But no, he was actually my favourite character in the episode.
He is a good writer. Have you not seen Sleep No More?
Yeah, An Adventure in Space
fantastic.
and Time. An Adventure in Space and Time was great.
True.
So he is actually a really good writer, but I haven't really liked a lot of his stuff for Doctor Who, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be completely
Probably
honest.
better other stuff than
But
Doctor's.
he clearly has great skill if he did An Adventure in Space and Time. So maybe it's not his fault.
Maybe his scripts are just being heavily edited and...
Maybe there just isn't enough sexism in them, and Moffat's just...
I'm gonna poop all over your script.
Marky
boy. Nice script you got there.
I actually thought that the
Mind
episode...
if I sprinkle in some sexism?
Yes, I do mind, Stephen.
Oh, get out of my office. Don't check my browser history. No, go on.
But I actually thought the episode could have benefited from more of his character, because I loved the start when the bit with him in... It was brilliantly shot, the bit with him in the trenches with the other German soldier.
The other German soldier wasn't he a writer? He's a Doctor Who writer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's Toby Whittaker, isn't it?
So do they have beef
Also,
off screen, maybe?
someone like Toby
Maybe it's
Whittaker.
some, like, joke for the writers, like, all this time, like, those two are like, neither can live while the other survives kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure that's definitely what you know.
Yeah. No, but the bit at the beginning where it was from his perspective and he didn't really understand what was going on, I really loved that. And I think it was a shame that we went away from his perspective, because looking at it from a World War I soldier's perspective was really interesting.
Yeah.
And then he sort of became background again, which was sad for me, because I thought his perspective was the most interesting out of everyone's. Something I did notice as well, what do you think about this? I've not seen anyone discuss this yet. So, the alien testimony droid thing.
Yeah.
Did it need to have boobs? Did you think that? Because from the back, it just looked totally fine, and then it turned out...
I never considered
And it was
I
like...
never even thought about it.
Stephen Moffat was like, well, this is a lady.
Yeah.
This is a lady testimony.
Or just like a week before the show goes to air, they're just finishing up post-production. And I'm gonna come down to the post-production office today, if that's alright. And they're like, yeah, sure, why, what is it? Let me watch the episode. Let me see what you've done with the testimony on your butt.
Do they leave him alone with it for a bit?
Yeah. Lock the door. Leave me in here. Yeah.
Won't touch
So
anything.
What are you doing? Yeah. Nothing.
Just a few last-minute alterations. It just seems a bit odd to me.
Some boobies for the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a red-blooded male. Check my browser history. Stephen, please, just stop. It doesn't need them.
What are you gonna do?
It doesn't need them, Stephen. Oh, the reveal of him being the Brigadier's dad was really nice, actually.
If predictable, yet sweet.
Well, yeah, I didn't really mind. I think it was nice because it kind of showed the first... Obviously the first Doctor is going to have his memory erased slightly, but I like to think that maybe deep down somewhere inside he has some sort of connection, like he needs to look out for that.
Yeah. And it was nice to hear the Lethbridge Stewart Murray Gold theme back again. That was nice.
And the bit where, even though the First World One soldier dude had... did we know his first name, or did we just know that he was...
We did, but
I can't remember his name, I'm sorry.
Archibald? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But
feel like
the
I made
bit
that
where he saw the Doctor and he saluted him was so nice because he wouldn't have remembered anything. He just saluted him. And also, how good was the dialogue? Now, this is something I do think Stephen Moffat did well, and this is very Russell T Davies-ish. You know when you have Mark Gatiss's character in the trench and they've both got their guns out,
Yes.
and the stuff he was saying about literally the only barrier, they could have killed each other out of fear.
Yeah, that was done excellently.
And because they
That
couldn't
sequence was done
understand
excellently,
each other.
Yeah.
Like, communication would solve so much.
Yeah.
And the fact that when he got returned, the first thing he did when people started singing was, "There's a wounded man here! There's an injured man!"
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. You just did a really good James McAvoy impression.
Did I?
Yeah. Wait till you play this back.
I didn't mean
The
to.
wounded man here.
No, it was lovely. And I really enjoyed seeing that at the Christmas day, like, you know,
Yeah, that was
I love
that was excellent. That was really sweet.
That made
was
me feel
lovely.
really tearful. I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, actually, I asked on Twitter. I said, did anyone want us to discuss anything in particular? I asked this morning while we're
the
doing this
Twitter?
review.
On the tweet,
On the tweet.
which I am now on.
Oh, Dan's on Twitter now. Just so you know, you're at Dan James Frank, aren't you? Oh, just shut my Emmerdale video I was watching. Oh no, I'll do it on here. I've got it right in front of me. It's
Yeah, you
literally
have.
right here on the
Yeah.
screen. Okay, so I asked if anyone had anything we wanted to discuss.
You've not yet closed the Richard Herndl tab.
I might want to go back to the Richard
Yeah.
Herndl tab.
Yeah. For further research.
Okay, so I'm gonna just actually before we go for this. No, actually, because I wanted us to talk about the 13th Doctor, but there's actually a question here which I thought would be interesting because somebody asked here.
Ask away.
Jodie Whittaker, I know you'll be talking about her anyway, which we indeed will. But this person
Or will we?
called Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor wanted to know what you in particular thought about her as a man.
I didn't really register to me that I didn't even consider the fact she was the Doctor's now a woman, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, cool, new Doctor.
Yeah.
This is a cool action sequence.
Yeah.
Where's the Doctor going to land next? It literally, it didn't even. I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, the Doctor's a woman now. The show's going to change.
Maybe
No,
if Stephen Moffat had written it though, and she maybe clutched her bosoms or something, it might have reminded us all of it.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
if Stephen Moffat had written it, he would have, as she'd sort of opened her eyes, the first thing she would have seen is the testimony robot, and it would have shown her, and she would have been.
Well, she would have grown them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. After seeing the testimony robot.
do you know what? That's not even too far from. Because
No.
let's just remember that when the first Doctor that Stephen Moffat wrote regenerated, the first thing he kind of said was he pulled at his sort of longish hair and said, not with entire joy really.
Some
I'm a
fear. Some would
girl.
say fear.
Fear almost, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a girl. Where have you gone? One of my highlights of the episode was actually Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. It just felt exciting to the extent that I almost found that 12's regeneration took a little too long because I was so excited.
They definitely, and I stand by this, included a hype noise when 12 was regenerating.
You know what?
I'm telling you, it was like, oh.
But it went on for a really long time. His speech was taking it. Now, I know we're not really one to talk because we love the 10th Doctor's regeneration scene. I know that went on for a long time. But at least he was sort of in different places and, you know, seeing different people. This just felt very much like 12 just sort of...
No, I liked it. I have nothing against the 12's final things too. I liked the final scene.
It was better than 11's sneeze regeneration anyway. Poor Matt Smith.
Yeah.
After all the time and effort and hard work, and he sat down with his family to watch the final cut of that, and he sneezed.
I still can't go over the fact that the 11th Doctor's final lines was a very silent hey. And then, but in a weirdly edited way, so he just sort of goes, hey. And then
Itch.
yeah.
Itch.
Yeah. You couldn't have even said like Geronimo or something. You know?
Anything. Yeah.
Hey.
That's gonna look really good when people make like lists of like the Doctor's final words.
Yeah. But in like asterisks, silently, hey. Almost unaudible. Hey.
Yeah, that went on for a while, and then when he finally regenerated, it was so exciting.
Yes.
People are annoying me as well because there were already people who like don't.
People annoy me.
No, just Jodie Whittaker's a woman, that people are all like, oh no, she can't do it. And there are all these people like, oh, typical, she can't fly the TARDIS because she's a woman. Sorry, but haven't most of the Doctors crashed the TARDIS when they're regenerated, when they've just regenerated? Like, I seem to remember Matt
Literally
Smith
every single one
dangling from the TARDIS, like
10 crashed it into the Power State.
Yeah.
11 crashed it into Amy's garden.
But like, it was like they'd already written.
12 crashed it into a dinosaur or something, didn't it?
Yeah. But it was
that's the point.
They'd already had the tweet written. They were that excited to make the joke about women drivers that like it felt like it was immediate almost on Twitter.
They actually planned it.
They planned it like because they knew that they know deep down that every Doctor crashes the TARDIS, but this time they were ready. I'm excited that she's Northern as well. As a big Emmerdale fan, that's exciting to me. She's got like a Leeds accent, so.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh, brilliant! She reminds me so much.
Oh, that was really good.
Thank you. I can do quite a good.
James McAvoy and Jodie Whittaker. Yeah.
Well, I can do Northern quite well. I can do Northern accents.
And what was the other really good impression you did?
Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
I can do a Homer Simpson
impression.
impression.
Can you do that? Can you try just?
No, it doesn't happen like that.
You can also do.
The Night
Hugh Laurie from the Night Manager.
Yeah. But my impressions don't just. I can't make them happen.
Okay, Jonathan.
There's just. No, it was a bit weird, Jonathan.
A bit weird, Jonathan.
They just come out, but they have to be ready.
Unbelievable when you hear them.
But there's a certain time. Like, I can't just force them. Like, they just has to be ready, and then. They're there. But yeah, she reminds me of the 10th Doctor a lot. Like, the way she grins and that's the movement she has. I love her. Yeah, she's just great.
I hope the 10th Doctor's era is an era they're using as a template.
I think it will be.
Yeah. Do you know they've actually stopped selling Doctor Who toys in like places like Toys R Us and things like that? They've actually stopped now.
Why?
Just because no one's buying them and no one wants to buy them. He's run the show into the ground.
I do think Stephen Moffat is probably the worst thing to happen to Doctor Who since the whole time we've watched.
But he gave us Nardole, so...
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. I feel the complete loss of Doctor Who or Nardole.
So maybe before we just answer a couple of these, like...
Q&A session.
I was just thinking we could just discuss, just briefly, this is the end of an era. I mean, this is the end of Stephen Moffat's era of Doctor Who. We've had him now for, is it 6 years?
We've had him since 2010, so... almost 7, almost 8.
But I suppose there wasn't Doctor Who for all that time. For some weird reason.
2016 there was no Doctor Who, yeah.
Well, and I want to know why that was, to be honest, because, you know, I know he's writing Sherlock, but I mean, come on, he writes one episode every, like, 15 years of Sherlock. And all you've got to do is adapt it from the book that was already written for you. And make it a little bit more sexist than it was back in the Victorian times. Still appeal to the modern audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, what would you say are the highs and lows of Moffat's time?
Right, okay. Series 5 of Doctor Who. I love Series 5
I enjoyed it a lot, yeah.
Really, really like it. I love the whole sort of fairy tale vibe. I love the design of the TARDIS. I love the Dr. Amy Rory.
Amy as a character is a real triumph.
Yeah.
Amy was a great companion.
The 11th Hour is still one of my favourite episodes. Like Amy's Choice, one of my favourite episodes. It was all great.
And also, I mean, I know this isn't him as a showrunner, but, you know, he has done some good stuff. He wrote... His episodes under Rusty Davies were really good. Really great.
Yes.
I think that season 5 was great for me, although it did still have... You could see the beginnings of some elements.
Of issues, but
he was
sort of didn't notice the issue because you didn't expect it to get bad.
No, you thought, you know, this is the furthest they'll push it.
Yeah.
Like, there was that episode where Amy
the end of Flesh and Stone.
That was quite...
That shocked me as a child,
wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bit out of place.
Obviously, I was watching it with Mum, and
You don't expect that in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
but so how many kids now have to watch Doctor Who with that kind of that uncertain sort of maybe I should go and get a drink feeling throughout the whole episode now? They're never safe, really.
No.
But now you just never know where it's coming from and when, and it will come at the most weird and unnecessary time. It will just be in there for no reason. You won't anticipate it.
No.
On the whole, it was good. Series 5. I just think from there, everything.
Yeah, A Christmas Carol. That's one of my favourites.
That was good. I mean, there were some issues in terms of, again, his writing of female characters. Like, let's leave Abigail in the box, and even though she's got one day left, I'll live it with Kazran, who I met for one day. But yeah, no, it was a great episode.
It's called Love. Kazran and Abigail were in love.
Yeah, they were.
Series 6 is where things went downhill. I couldn't really name one episode I liked. Seriously, The Doctor's Wife was good. I didn't particularly mind Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon.
But can you actually, like, if you really think about this, I mean, he actually wrote a plot where Amy was pregnant and didn't know about it. Woke
The
up,
thing is, he
gave birth.
he tried so hard to be smart and adding all these plot twists and this convoluted sort of storyline that he lost the emotional aspect of it. I think
Everything was
that's
wrong,
yeah. There were no sort of consequences to Amy losing her child or
Well, I mean, the baby melted in her hands. I mean, just a normal person. If you just
style
randomly,
over substance.
if you just wake up giving birth, that's going to impact you slightly. But Amy was back to being feisty, and the same with Clara.
Yeah.
Clara was very much, oh, she's so feisty. Let's not really dwell on her or her family or anything. I mean, families have been lacking, I think. There doesn't feel like that family element. There doesn't feel like there's that human element either. You know, Rusty Davies' era felt very much like humans can do bad things, but they can also be brave and wonderful. Whereas,
humans were the heroes of the...
yeah,
Rusty Davies'
and
era.
often the Doctor would like learn from them and realise, oh, I've underestimated humans.
Yeah.
But in this series, it seems to be very much, let's talk about how great the Doctor is. You know, the Doctor saves everyone. Oh wow, isn't the Doctor amazing? And
Yeah. Series 7 is best not spoken about.
yeah,
Series 7 was terrible.
It was so bad. It was so bad, and I'm just surprised that the BBC didn't just take it off him.
Yeah. Series 8 was also terrible.
They let him have it for longer than I thought. Because I thought, okay, give him one series after season 5 and then he can sort things out. This was just maybe a bad series, but no, it just kept...
I mean, in hindsight, if you really like sat down and think about all the things that Steve Moffat has ruined about Doctor Who, it would bring back my anger issues, I think. I mean, if you just like go back episode to episode, if you just go back, he's ruined the first Doctor. The episode before that, he ruined the Johnson Master. You know, the 50th anniversary, he ruined. You know. But oh well.
It's finished now.
It's over now.
It's gone.
It's finished.
It's over.
We're safe.
We're free. Okay, right, so before we go then, let's just answer a couple of these questions that we've got here.
I feel like there's more we need to talk about the episode. I can't. One of the storylines I was hoping Stephen Moffat would pick up on again, out of everything from the 12th Doctor's era, was actually seeing what Rusty the Dalek is up to now.
Really? Wait, are you being sarcastic? I can't even tell. Are you being sarcastic or are you being serious?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm being sarcastic or not, really. Discuss Rusty the Dalek.
I saw it described in a review as, I've not seen the new Star Wars film, but the equivalent of when you're randomly in a space casino. Don't
get me started on the new Star Wars film.
I've not seen it yet. I've seen many mixed reviews.
Get me started
Genuinely, people have been split on my timeline and my friends online. Like, half of you love it, half of you hate it. I've not seen it yet, but when I do see it, rest assured I will review it. But you weren't pleased. Dan was not pleased. It's alright. It is alright.
Well, it's not alright, because where does J.J. Abrams go now?
So I think we've spoken about a lot of the elements in the episode. So we've had Rusty the Dalek, we've spoken about the Brigadier's dad, we've spoken about Bill, spoken briefly about Clara, Nardole, of course, the first
music.
Doctor, the music, the 12th Doctor's regeneration, the 13th Doctor.
13th Doctor.
I think we've...
They should have done more with the first Doctor seeing his future. And you know, the whole, you're the Doctor of War now. Like, we should have actually been like, that's not what we stand for, that's you know. And then the Doctor being like,
no, there was a really
sometimes
nice...
you have to make those choices.
No, but there was a really nice bit where he said something like, the Doctor, yes, always. And then he said something like, of war, never. That was lovely.
Yeah.
And also, I love how kind he was. I think the first Doctor has been very mischaracterised because although there was one bit I really liked, which is when the First World War soldier was, you know, he first got in the TARDIS, and the first Doctor's like, sit down, my boy, have a brandy for the shock. Like, he's just trying to...
I'll tell you what my headcanon is for this first Doctor.
Yeah.
Or what Stephen Moffat's now done to the first Doctor. Right, this is a stretch, but it's a stretch I'm willing to take.
Right.
Okay, so let's... Because I refuse to accept the First Doctor would say any of those things, I'm thinking maybe it's because, you know, he's new to Earth and humans, and this is his first incarnation, and he is young and impressionable, and obviously he's been with Ben and Polly and Ian and... Was it Barbara?
Yeah.
Barbara and Susan, and maybe he's literally just picking up on what society was like in the 60s, and he's thinking, oh, that's how it is it? Like, and he's not really... He's just trying to fit in rather than actually believing what he's saying.
Yeah.
So he's thinking that's the right... It's a stretch, but take it.
It makes it slightly
Take
easier
it and
to
run.
deal with, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you want to cry less. Right.
Makes you want to cry less.
Right, someone asked me, will you cry when you inevitably see little girls dressed up as the 13th Doctor? Yes, but also little boys, because, like, it's not just little girls that were... Not just little boys that were dressed up as, like, the 11th Doctor and, like, the 10th Doctor. Like, I've dressed up as the 11th Doctor before, like... I think I just want all kids to be able to dress up as
I want
the
all
Doctor.
kids to dress up as Nardo. Proper shave their heads.
Hannah asks us, where do you think the Doctor will land? Or where would you like her to?
Earth.
No, I'd like her to land
Some
there.
people are saying she is landing on Earth. I think some people say it's Sheffield. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want her to land in the north.
Up north.
Yeah, in the north. Ah, brilliant.
Right, don't milk it.
Right, we've already discussed. Mersey Mermaid asked us to talk about the uncomfortable sexist
Mersey
jokes
Mermaid.
that made no sense for the Doctor to make. And despite what Moffat thinks, he's never
Uncomfortable
been
sexist jokes
an old man from the 60s.
made me comfortable and I loved them.
They made me feel really comfortable too.
Yeah. Literally my favourite part of the episode. Every time they happened, I clapped. A physical standing ovation.
Actually,
Put you over my knee.
he doesn't actually say put you over my knee though, does he?
Something like that.
He says something about a smacked bottom or something.
Smack bottom, yeah.
But didn't we once...
Tall over made of glass.
Didn't we once have a joke together about if Stephen Moffat were to write all the different Doctors, how he'd write them?
Yeah.
And we literally imagined
Yeah, I think we did, yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
as a
yeah.
joke though, with
Yeah.
a really extra, you know,
And then
like...
it came true.
Oh god. It just makes you think, doesn't it, really? I mean, what would he do with... What do you think he'd do with some of the other Doctors if he had a chance?
I feel well. So if he wrote for the second Doctor had a flute, didn't he? I think the second Doctor would play the flute, and various alien women would come to him. I think if he wrote the third Doctor, his karate wouldn't be for saving the day. It would be for attracting females.
Also, I think he'd probably make some uncomfortable comments about Bessie, since Bessie would count as a girl.
yeah.
Because we have seen the TARDIS has been characterised.
If Bessie ever broke down, the Doctor would be like, typical women.
Maybe this is like...
I don't want. I was thinking of what he'd do for the fourth Doctor.
No,
I think it'd be terrible if he got his hands on Leela or someone.
Oh my god! But magically, like her costume would get even smaller. Like it would just disappear completely. Like there would be
I can't
no
stop
costume.
thinking about that sketch from Extras with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, okay. If you want an idea of what we think about this, what's the name of the sketch?
So just look up Ricky Gervais, Patrick Stewart Extras scene.
Yeah.
Naked or something.
Yeah, it's called Naked or something. And what Patrick Stewart talks about is how we kind of imagine Stephen Moffat's writing process goes. Really?
Just watch it, you'll understand.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we should go now. Do you want to... Actually, I was going to ask you before. Did you want to do, like, a question and answer for us? Like, if I asked people to give us questions?
Yeah,
Would you be up for doing that?
Yeah.
If
I've done
anyone's...
Q&A videos.
Yeah, but those are, like, ones I found.
Oh, actual
But, like, I mean, if there's anything, like, you'd... specifically like to ask us, then you can do that. Right, we're gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping that you're going back to uni quite soon, but I'd quite like for us to review, and we've had lots of requests to review the 50th at some point, if you can. How do you think that's gonna... What do you think that's gonna do to you mentally though? I mean, are you okay to review the 50th? Or is that gonna put you back a bit?
It'll put me back a bit, but I'm willing to do it. If someone mentions David Tennant's hair to me in that episode, it's not hard to use hair gel, isn't it?
Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you really soon. Tell us what you thought of the episode in the comments, please. We're really interested to hear what you think. Okay, love you loads.
Also, Happy New Year.
Yeah, have a great New Year. And I just want to shout out to, first of all, my son Aaron Dingle, who turns 26 today, and to all my fellow Rob Braun fans out there. We made it through 2017, friends, and things are going to look up now. Love you loads, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.
In a bit.